What's up, everybody? If you couldn't tell already by this carnage, today we're talking about bugs. One of the more complex stains we're going to deal with. Let's get after it. So what makes bugs such a complex stain? Maybe the toughest thing to actually clean safely off of your vehicle. It's because of all the things that a bug is and how it interacts with your car's surface. So typically where you're interacting with a bug is tough places to clean just to start off. So you're dealing with the grills, any front surface of your car. So windshield, roof line, those are tough, but not as tough as you're getting into these intricate new molded pieces on a lot of these cars. You're dealing with intercoolers, you're dealing with your radiators, and a lot of the paints that you deal with on your bumpers are actually very, very fine foams to help with that flexibility. And what that does is have open pores that allows the guts of the bug to act like a glue onto your paint. Not only that, once that bug is smashed onto your paint, the inside is a little bit acidic, so it'll start etching into your clear coat right away. So you have an acid glue basically stuck to your car, and that's just a start. So that's one thing you have to clean. The exoskeleton then is made of chitin, which is basically indissolvable with most things you're gonna wanna put anywhere near your car. So you have a nice protective shell. Underneath that, you have a glob of acid glue just doing havoc on your paint. So this is a very complex stain. Overall, we don't want to do more damage than good ever. That's our job here. So you want to let the chemistry of the products we're going to use and time be your friend. Don't go at this with a sponge. Don't go at this with a microfiber. Even if you get a dedicated bug sponge, these open cell things, which are actually great at breaking that down, it's also great at scratching your paint in your clear coat. So pay careful attention, make sure you're in the shade, make sure you're not letting things dry on there, and we're gonna let time and chemistry prevent us from scratching the paint. So for the chemistry help on getting rid of these bugs, we're gonna use our ready-to-use all-purpose cleaner. There's a couple of reasons why we're gonna choose that. If you have a go-to dedicated bug remover, you can use that as well, as long as it's the chemistry version, not the physical abrasion kind. So we're gonna put this on here for a couple of reasons. Number one, pH. So this is a ready-to-use, pre-diluted, but it still has a high pH. We're talking about a pH of 12 on this product. So because of the way the pH scale works, we're strong enough to actually start breaking down bug guts, but we're not so high that we're gonna start breaking down some of our like ceramic coatings and things like that. So when we get this higher pH on the bug guts, what you're actually doing is denaturing the protein in the bug. And that's just a fancy way of saying you're changing the shape of the proteins, which is allowing it to get away from where it currently is, which is glued onto your clear coat. The other thing that's in here that is beneficial is the surfactants. So they're gonna actually help penetrate, get behind and around that exoskeleton and start breaking that down and releasing it from your paint. There's also some things that are in some fancy bug removers that are also in our all-purpose cleaner, namely glycols, which are basically high-end solvents. They're gonna act like a very nimble surfactant to get around there and also penetrate as well. So this product is gonna work great to start penetrating and breaking down that protein that is basically acid glued to your clear coat. So we're gonna spray this everywhere where the bugs are. So we're talking this whole front of the bumper, windshield, we're gonna talk about the line on the roof, side view mirrors, things like that, and then we're gonna let it sit. 3 to 5 minutes is probably gonna do a pretty good job. Just like you do your wheels before you wash, you can do this before you wash. So we're gonna treat this with all-purpose cleaner, let it sit. Don't ever let it dry on the surface, but as long as you keep that moist, you're good, a couple minutes, and then that's gonna help us clean these off much easier. While we're letting the chemicals penetrate and break down these bugs, if you have more questions or curious about surfactants, check out our surfactant video from Dr. Matt. He'll explain all the details on why surfactants help remove this kind of stain. So now that we've let that sit for a few minutes, we're gonna pressure wash, pressure blast all the bugs off to try to get as much as we can off without using actual physical abrasion. So again, time, chemistry, and then pressure washer to get most of this off, hopefully. So we'll see what we get after that. So as you can see, first pass, again, just letting it dwell with our all-purpose cleaner, pressure washing, we got most of these bugs off. This is a much improved situation. So what we're gonna do is continue to use chemistry to help us. So we're gonna use our kind of foam wash to, again, non-contact, to continue to help break down and soften the proteins that's basically glued onto your car. So we're gonna use Moab, we're gonna foam this, again, let that dwell, let those surfactants, let that foam lift some of that dirt off to continue to soften it up, blast that off to hopefully get even better before we have to do potentially mechanical steps if there's anything still left. As you can see, now that we've done the snow foam, clean that off, again, we're even cleaner than we were before. The point of the pre-steps, the APC and then the foam wash, again, is just to get as much of this off as possible before we introduce contact and actual mechanical cleaning. So most of it, like we said, is off. There are still some spots that are sticking around and are more aggressively bonded to the paint. And really what needs to happen there is we need to clean out when we do our contact wash. So we're gonna do a contact wash on this for the final step. We're also gonna introduce and show you how the bug eraser product that we have can help you with some of these tough spots. Again, that's gonna use some strong detergents to really help penetrate and break down those kind of materials that are glued onto your clear coat. So like I said, we're gonna do final cleaning step for these bugs. We're gonna do a mechanical step now that it is as safe as possible to do so. So now that we've done all-purpose pre-treat, snow foam pre-treat, and now our contact wash, and in some hot spots we even use the bug eraser, we are free of bug debris on the front end as safely as possible, which is great. The downside of doing any kind of heavy-duty cleaner is you are going to remove or degrade any kind of detailer, wax, sealant, hybrid ceramic. Really the only thing that's going to stand up to these kind of chemicals is a true ceramic. So there was a hybrid detailer on this car before we washed it. As you can see, there's still some relatively good beads for being a month old on the hood of the car. But as soon as you get to where we went heavy duty, that has been broken down. And that's normal. That's gonna happen with all these bug removers, any heavy duty all-purpose cleaner, that's gonna break those coatings down. So the best way to make it easier to clean bugs off your car in the future is to have that durable coating protecting the high wear spots for bugs. So if possible, we're gonna recommend putting a real ceramic on your car. That is the best way to protect your clear coat. But other than that, just make sure there is something there. So if you're using a detailer or a hybrid, or you're a fan of the traditional wax, that's all good, we like that too. However, you're gonna need to reapply that as soon as you do this heavy-duty bug remover. So before we're done with this car, we're gonna put on more detailer. That's what the original owner had on that before, so we're gonna finish that off. Just make sure there's some protection of the paint for when the bugs start attacking this car as soon as you drive out. So that's really all it is to bug removal safely. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.